Welcome to Steve's Cottage with Steve Horner. Steve Horner, a former radio talk show host, helps spotlight the source of today's social chaos while offering practical solutions to the problems negatively affecting you and your family. And now, here's Steve.
Welcome to the Cottage, ladies and gentlemen. Your host, Steve Horner, with you. And doggone it, it's so good to have you here right now because I have a great show planned for you. And I think you're going to get a charge out of a lot of these really super hot issues, which always are part of the shtick here on the Steve's Cottage program. And when I say shtick, I don't mean that it's false. I just mean this is part of the makeup. And you've recognized that by now, and that's why I'm getting more and more of you ladies and gentlemen and I say that I don't mean to insult you. Maybe some of you scallywags are out there as well. But happy to have your company. Did you watch the Super Bowl on Sunday? I did, probably most of it, and had a good time. And it was a heck of a game, and I was happy to see Mahomes win because he's a gentleman on camera. He's a funny guy, but what a terrific world-class athlete. Now, me, having been in the advertising, marketing, and radio business most of my professional career, I spotted a lot of these ads that really, really sucked up to women. And I'm telling you, gals, you're being played for major, major chumps. You really are. They want your money, and they're going to suck up to you any way that it takes, because let's face it, you comprise of 50% of the audience, 50% of the population. The NFL used to not be able to attract you to the NFL up through the 60s and the 70s and 80s and 90s, probably around to the turn of the century. And then all of a sudden it became vogue for women to become really involved with Super Bowl parties and NFL parties. And NFL did a shrewd thing. They brought in female broadcasters and female commentators along the sidelines. And some of these ads were so blatantly in tune to suck up to women, because we want you women to be part of this NFL, to have the parties, to support our sponsors, to be part of the audience makeup, to get into the bars and cheer with these guys as they're slugging down their beers. And it's all part of more putting money into the pockets of the NFL. And let's face it, they are highly, highly, highly successful. Absolutely, without doubt, the most popular, the most money successful entertainment venue America has ever seen. And I might be insulting some of you because maybe you don't like the Kaepernick angle about the non-patriotic thing, or about the bling that these guys wear, and they really don't probably like white guys off stage, or whatever your political takeoff of the NFL is. Fact of the matter is, the money is in the bank. And it is highly profitable. And, just look at all the parties, look at all the sponsors, look at all the salaries, look at all the products, look at all the merch. It's unbelievable. Now, the way they have sucked in the women was exemplified by what I thought was about a 4-minute ad for women. Remember that one where she gets in the car and then she screams out here and then she screams out over here, and she's got this Laura Croft thing and it's all computer generated, and she's scrambling over here and she got kids over here and she's balancing life and work and family and she's doing this and then she's going for more, and then thanks, women, we love you. Yeah, come on. We want you spending money with the NFL. We're sucking up to you, and you're falling for it. How about that other ad about, I'm shopping like a millionaire. I'm shopping like a billionaire. I only make $15,000 a year, but I'm shopping now like a billionaire. let's charge this. Let's buy this. Let's charge this. Let's buy this. That ad ran several times. So it's putting it into the head of these stupid women who fall for this crap. And I know guys fall for a lot of chump crap too on with marketing ploys. I know that. But right now I'm saying stupid. You're falling for it. You're getting huge in debt. And the NFL and these products couldn't care less about you. They don't care about your soul, about your heart, about your health. They don't care nothing about you except you're contributing to this huge ball of capitalism. And a lot of these ads, they make women look so stupid. They're so insulting. And it has almost gotten to the point where the dumber these ads make women look, the more they embrace it. And I was thinking about that, and I think it's because it ticks off fairly intelligent guys like me that women would be taken for such chumps, but then these women, in their arrogance, stupidity, and vindictiveness, they say, well, we're just going to continue to piss off guys like Steve by doing this. And it gets them into nothing but trouble, heartache, congestive heart failure, drugs, and a whole plethora of other maladies. Well, so anyhow, the title of this show is The Bitterman Report, Part 2. And let's do a little cleanup time here from the Bitterman Report, Part 1. It's named after Father Dave Bitterman. He's the parish honcho over at St. George Catholic Church here in St. George, Utah, where I live, where the Cottage is. And he called me a couple of weeks ago, chewed me out for being antagonistic, for being harsh, for being brash, for being a misogynistic type of guy, you see. And to me, he seems like a bitter man. I think that anybody who has to bow and chastise somebody for their personal opinions because they're falling prey to the social whims of the other side is a patsy. And if you're such a patsy, you've got to be bitter about something. You know, where's your conscience at? Are you just plain salving your conscience? I think so. And that's not a happy guy who does that. So, you know, I'm kind of scoring this as a bitter man. And so is Pope Francis. You know, he wants us all to respect and protect women and the rest of that blah, blah, blah. He says, otherwise there will be no future. Well, look at the kind of future that the cunt mentality has put us into right now. And here on this program, cunt is an acronym. C period, U period, N period, T period. Women have their periods, but we men, we have our exclamation points. By golly, we're going to move heaven and earth to get this done, and we're going to pound on some tables. We don't care if it rankles your nerves or not. We are men. We have our exclamation points, and we're going to stand up to the idiocy of the acronym in cunt, can't understand normal thinking. I called Dianne Feinstein's office. She's that lifer cunt in California. She's retiring, age 90. The woman on the phone at her office, she talked to me. I said, give me some of Diane's accomplishments. She's been in business for 40 years, you know, like Orrin Hatch, some of these other male lifers. Thank God he's retired, senator from Utah. And she said, well, Mr. Horner, it's online. I said, I'm at the Cottage. I don't have a computer here, and that's by choice. I like to go to the library where I can intermingle with my fellow humans. Well, she said, I brought it up. She said, well, here's one of the accomplishments. She passed the what the right to marry or something like that. And of course, that's a homosexual deal that allows people to marry so-called the one they love, whether it's the same gender or not. And I says, well, that's certainly a 14th Amendment right, but it's a cruel, unusual, and vastly immoral program. Oh, well, I don't agree with you. Well, give me one other. She said, well, how about she extended the Violence Against Women Act. Now, that's Joe Biden's mid-'90s act that, you can't fart in the presence of a woman who might not like you. And, she's going to call it insulting. She's going to call, oh, he has really disturbed me. It's really bothered me. It's really scary. And so then she gets the police and gets a stalking or something else. And that's all that has all been implemented by that 1994 or 96, I get it confused, Joe Biden's Violence Against Women's Act. And there's actually 90,000 of those cheap little revenge sightings against mostly men right here in little old Utah. Can you imagine how many in a state like Texas or California? Well, so, that's that. Well, then she hung up on me, but that's having cunts in control. It's insidious. It doesn't work. And but yet we have the pastor is what I was trying to think of. The person in charge of a parish is the pastor, and that's Dave Bitterman, a bitter man, same as Pope Francis. I mean, to have to lie down to policies that absolutely don't make any sense. I remember having a face-to-face visit with Archbishop John Roach. This was back when I lived in Minnesota. Our family's from Minnesota. We know Archbishop John Roach, have had him at our home. My father was quite familiar with Archbishop John Roach. Archbishop Roach kindly allowed me to come in and visit to him face-to-face. And I said, Archbishop, I mean, is it true that we are purposely bringing in more women, and more women seem to have positions of not integrity, but authority in the Catholic Church? Well, Steve, you hit it right on the head. We're bringing in more women now because, Steve, well, they're more independent. They're making more money than ever before. They're not answering to men. And so, in other words, you want them in the pews so that you can get their money. Steve, it's kind of like a business. That is absolutely right. So, in other words, you are completely ignoring what the Bible says in 1 Timothy chapter 2, 5-8. Women shall not be in positions of public policy making, nor shall they be in charge of men at all. Well, Steve, I guess you didn't pray enough before you read that. Or, here's another excuse. Well, Steve, I guess you forgot to put it into the context of the whole Bible. So there's always an excuse for dodging what has been age-old criteria on the genders. So when you hear me talk about these things, don't say that I'm a woman hater or a misogynist. Just say that I'm giving some credence to what really has been an age-old conversation, but really has been left in the dust for the last contemporary part of history, and it becomes downright confusing. Why do we allow these women into office that absolutely make no sense? They want to kill babies. They want homosexuality to thrive. When I was just reading an article here the other day that these young people that are professed transgenders, they're so goddamn confused, the suicide rate among these people is just absolutely astronomical. Some of you might say, well, that's because they're not being accepted. No, I'm not going to accept them. I'm just saying I think it's because they're really screwed up, and their mind is contradicting what their soul is telling them, and because they have no well, I'm getting to that. So it's kind of like, but it leaves you really in a state of confusion, and it reminds me of what the great Native American Geronimo was once said to have professed about confusion. I'd rather die in battle than live in a life that makes no sense. We're just about there, aren't we? Many aspects of this life is absolutely upside down. And that's what I have professed in my books over and over. And if you haven't seen my books, well, go to your computer and type in stevehornerbooks.com and see the shelf full of self-written books that I'm very, very proud of. And they're selling okay. And I want you to go and buy one just to show that you support this program. Because, you see, we're able to discuss things on this show that those that are on commercial radio, they're not able to touch because their sponsors won't allow it. We don't have to do that here. I don't really need your money. I'm happily retired. Low overhead, enough money coming in. The Veterans Administration with my infantry 30% disability gives me everything from ambulance all the way to Z, snoring peacefully. A to Z. How'd you like that one? Huh? Sean? Thanks.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks.
Do it again one more time.
A to Z. No, what's usually I go. Usually A to Z is abortion to Zionism, but this one is the coverage of the VA. This is ambulance to catching my Z's.
Oh, that was Ambien to catching your Z's.
Huh?
Ambien.
Ambien. No, I don't want to.
It's a drug that puts you to sleep.
Yeah, I don't want to get into those things.
Okay.
Yeah, I am a very, very blessed guy to have really great night's sleeps. And it's low caffeine, it's nice exercise, and a clean conscience. I mean, regardless of those nasty stories I tell you, Sean, they're mostly... Don't listen to a word I say when I'm off the air. Well, so anyhow, we've got a lot of confusion out here, and with this confusion, we have those like the advertisers that don't allow you to bark back at those people whom you think are at the root, or the principles that you think might be at the root of the problems. For instance, where are the dads in these black families? In some big cities, 90% of these black youth are being raised without a loving father. But you can't say that on commercial radio or television because they don't want to play the blame game. They want all these people in to watch so that they can make more money, just like the NFL going after more women. A bigger audience demands more money for sponsors. Do you know what these sponsors paid for a 30-second ad on the Super Bowl? I remember when they were being charged back in the early 70s, $30,000. That was unbelievable. And my father had been in advertising and marketing, and I knew some of these prices. Now it's $7 million. That's unbelievable. And they were sold out, absolutely sold out. But you can't get on the backs of some of these people by saying, this is part of the problem. Because number one, we have those that are perceived as being underdogs, okay? Now, white guy, mostly bald, outspoken guy like Steve Horner here at the Cottage, I'm not the oppressed and disadvantaged. I'm not the underdog. Black people are. Jews are. The alphabet people are. Illegals sneaking into the border, they are. And you see, it's the Jew-run press, and I know you're going to say, "God, this guy is a hater." No, I'm not. This has nothing to do with race, ancestry, anything like that. It has everything to do with behavior. Bad behavior has been allowed to run amok. So the Jews, with the history of the Holocaust, they come in, and this has been, I'm sharing this with you from having had many, many conversations with people about these various hot topic issues. And I'm a pretty well-read type of guy, too. So this is all being tunneled down through you via this microphone and your presence here at Steve's Cottage. And you can get a lot of this information at stevehornerbooks.com by buying one of the books. You know, it's documented. So what you have is a Jew-run press run by Jews, and now there's I hate that. Well, let me just put it blunt to you. There's a Jew cunt, Julie Price, in charge of it. So you got a double whammy there. Remember, cunt, C-U-N-T, acronym, can't understand normal thinking. So the Jews, with their Holocaust background, they think that they're the only ones who have been oppressed. We know about oppression. You can't tell us about oppression. We know it from the moment we're born. We know an underdog when we see him or her or it or whatever pronoun it's using today. We are the ones who tell you who are the underdogs. So that's why the blacks get away with raising hell in the streets. That's why the alphabet people get everything that they want. That's why the illegals get rampant access to the border, because they're underdogs, according to the press, according to the Jew-run Associated Press. And, of course, who are the members of the Associated Press? All of United States individual, privately owned newspaper, radio, and television stations. You know, it's a big association. And so they come in, and look what they've done to Black History Month. We want more representation in movies. We want more Emmys. We want more Grammys. We want more Oscars. Okay, boss. You got it. No problemo. Okay. So the press comes along and says, yeah, you know, they need the reparation. We deserve to give it to them. Or they deserve it. And, you know, so that's what we're left with. That's the pressure. That's the force that we're dealing with. So we have to somehow step out of the box. I hope I'm doing my share here by inviting you to Steve's Cottage. But show me that love. Buy a book or three and share it with your friends. You know, put it on your Kindle and enjoy it. So, so that's what we have here with blacks and women and illegals and the alphabet people. They've all been successfully forged as the poor me crowd, thanks to the Jew-run press. That's the dots. That's how the dots line up. And so then the Catholic Church and these other churches in the states and the communities and the cunts who are, you know, like Dianne Feinstein, they come in and, you know, they have a handle on who they think deserves favors and who doesn't. And with the popularity of the African-American crowd, did you see all the black people on the ads? On the ads? Have you been seeing that? Not only black on black, but black on white, black on Hispanic, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's why I'm instituting right now, Hire a Negro. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see the details at stevehornerbooks.com. Hire a Negro. I have a stable of black people. So if you're having a wedding and you're a bunch of white people and you want to make the impression on your white guests that you are not racist, I've got the good-looking black man and his girlfriend that'll hire out and serve your wishes as to present you as a non-racist. Isn't that kind of funny? I thought it was. Well, listen, folks, thanks for, and that's not really true. I'm not doing Hire a Negro, but it is kind of funny. Well, so listen, come back and join me next time for Steve's Cottage. And thanks for joining me here today. Be sure to buy one of those books. And when you're out and about, make sure you stay on that rugged, less traveled path of life like I've chosen. It's a hell of a lot more fun. It provides better scenery and offers much, much richer rewards for you and your loved ones. So, this is Steve Horner from Steve's Cottage. Until next time you come to visit, you take real good care of yourself.
Thanks for joining us. Visit Steve's Cottage again with Steve Horner.